Hi everyone, and welcome to our informational webinar teaching how to apply to teach in the USA with EPI. My name is Jessica and I work as a content specialist for EPI. I'm from the mountains of North Carolina, and before working for EPI, I taught English at the community college level. Today I will be talking to you about EPI's application process and answer any questions that you might have about it. You can use the comment box to ask us questions, and at the end of the presentation, we will answer any comments that you have left for us. Keep in mind that we won't be able to answer questions about your specific application for privacy reasons. All of those should be emailed to team@teachwithepi.com, where one of our trained admissions specialists will assist you. Today we will be talking about how to apply to teach in the USA with Educational Partners International. During this webinar, we will be going over how to start your application and what documents you will need for it. We will also explain the purpose of the application and give you some tips that will make the process go as quickly as possible. If you're joining us for the first time, we are Educational Partners International, or EPI for short, and we are a cultural exchange program that brings international teachers to teach in K-12 schools in the United States. We are so dedicated to facilitating cultural exchange in the United States because EPI believes sharing knowledge across cultures and venues improves understanding among teachers, students, administrators, and members of the communities in which we live. This is our core mission here at EPI, to help exchange knowledge and information between cultures so that we can understand each other better and work together to create a global community. Educational Partners International is an exchange visitor program authorized to sponsor K-12 placement in public, private, and charter schools in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. We place teachers in all subjects taught in K-12 schools in the United States. So that not only means foreign languages and English as a second language, but also core subjects like math, science, art, special education, elementary education, and so many more. Really, any subject that you could think that we would teach in K-12 schools in the US, we place teachers in them. And while we work with schools across the southern United States, our home office is in North Carolina, which is about where the arrow is on the map on your screen. We would love to know where all of you are from too, so please take the time to tell us in the comments. So now that you have some background on who we are, it is important to understand EPI's process. So, our process for bringing teachers like you to the United States looks something like this. First, you complete an application so that we know you are eligible for our program and will be a strong candidate for cultural exchange. The application process includes filling out a thorough online form, uploading official documents, and 2 interviews with EPI team members. After you've completed the application process, you are moved to the approved stage where you interview with principals at one of our partnered schools. Once you complete a successful school interview, you are placed in the school and become an official EPI teacher. So let's take a closer look at that first step, the application process. EPI's application is thorough, but it does a few important things for you. Filling out the application creates a professional profile for school principals to look at when they are considering teachers for interviews. It also helps you collect the documents that you will need to get a visa, travel to the United States, and to get a teaching license. Finally, we use the information you provide on the application to decide whether or not you meet our eligibility requirements. So some of the eligibility requirements for being an EPI teacher are that you are currently teaching, you have 2 years full-time teaching experience, and that you have the equivalent of a U.S. bachelor's degree. So you have read about EPI and our requirements and have decided that you want to apply to teach in the USA. How do you get started? Well, the first step is to go to our website, teachwithepi.com/teachers. Once you are there, you will scroll down until you see the big orange button that says click here to apply. Then you will need to answer some questions about your eligibility. After you answer the questions and click the submit button, you will be able to make an account with your email address and start your application. Once you start your application, it is really important that you prioritize completing the sections that are your personal and professional profile so that you can quickly move to the next stage. So EPI's application does require official documentation to be sure that you are eligible to travel and teach in the United States. Here is a list of the documents that you will need to upload to your application before you are eligible for principal interviews. We ask for copies of all pages of your passport, diploma, transcripts, criminal background checks, proof of employment, and a credential evaluation from an NACES approved company. If you have a valid driver's license and wish to drive in the United States, we will also need a copy of your driver's license, but driving is not a requirement for the program. When you're first starting your application, you should prioritize uploading the passport pages, diplomas, and transcripts because we will need to see these documents first before we can invite you for interviews with EPI team members. Please keep in mind that the only place you should upload these documents is to the official EPI website, which is teachwithepi.com. To protect your privacy, you should never upload any of your documents to Facebook. We will not accept your documents through our Facebook page or Messenger. So one of the most common questions our candidates ask is, how long does the process take? So our application includes processing all of your documents and 2 interviews with EPI team members. And how long it takes really depends on how quickly you can collect and upload the appropriate documentation. But today we do have some tips on what you can do to make sure the application process goes as quickly and smoothly as possible. The first step is to read all of our requirements before you apply. You can find our requirements at teachwithepi.com/teacher requirements. When completing the application, you will need to be sure to read and follow all directions carefully. You will also want to proofread all of your answers, as any typos or mistakes made with spelling and dates can make it take longer. You will also need to create your account with a valid email address and be checking that email regularly. We will only be able to discuss your application through email, so it's important that you are looking constantly at your email for updates from EPI about your status. So before we answer your questions in our live question and answer session, we would also like to show you a brief video of Ludmilla sharing her experience in the United States with EPI. So here is Ludmilla's story.
I am Ludmilla de Bajo. My friends and colleagues call me Mimi. I am from Bulacan in the Philippines, but I used to teach in a Catholic high school in back home. And I've been with EPI for 2 years now. I joined them in 2015. I'm a single mom, so I brought my 11-year-old daughter with me here. She's in fifth grade right now. Basically, I joined EPI because I've always had passion for cultural exchange. I was in a similar cultural exchange program in Australia 4 years ago, and I realized that it's fun to learn about other people's culture. And apart from that, my best friends, they recruited me because they have been a good experience here in the United States, and perhaps they want to share that with me here. At first, I was very hesitant because I am quite loyal to the school where I came from and used to be an administrator there. So it's kind of difficult to leave the school. But then, my friends, they are very determined to let me come with them here in the States. So fortunately, when I got into the program, it was really a good experience. I've learned so much, a lot. And I am from South Carolina. I teach in Lexington 3, Batesburg, Leesville High School. It's in the Midlands. And it's a family-friendly community, and I can still remember the first year that I got there. The community was very supportive. It's not only the school, but also some of the churches. They come together to help me put out my house. They put together furnitures. And I remember when I moved in, our district superintendent was even there to put up the bed that he gave my daughter. So the feel of Southern hospitality is really there, and I got to feel what Southern hospitality really is. And I don't feel that I'm different from my colleagues because the school where I'm teaching right now. It has a familial culture. Basically, it's the same as the culture of the school where I came from. So I must say I'm very grateful for EPI because it was a perfect match.
To hear more from our teachers, visit our Facebook page. We have posted several videos of our teachers talking about their cultural exchange experiences. We also post teacher stories on our website, teachwithepi.com. So now it's time for questions. I will be answering any questions that you have left in the comments. So if you've not yet gotten a chance to submit yours, you can ask them now. We invite you to also tell us about yourself. We would love to know what you are teaching and where you are from. It looks like we have already heard from teachers from Mongolia, Jamaica, the Philippines, Colombia, and more today. And just wherever you are joining us from, thank you so much for being here. Okay, so our first question for today is, do you accept part-time teachers or online teachers? So this is a great question. Unfortunately, the answer is no. As a cultural exchange program, it is really important for us that you come to the United States and you're living and teaching here full time in order for your students to really get the full immersive experience of interacting and learning from someone from another country. We also want you to have the full immersive experience of United States culture by living here full time. So, no, at this time, we do not accept any part time or online teachers. Okay, so the next question is, what subjects are you looking for? And it looks like people have expressed interest specifically in special education and physical education. So the answer is, we place teachers in all subjects that we teach in K-12 schools in the United States. So that includes special education and physical education, but it also includes foreign languages, English as a second language, math, science, English, language arts, really all subjects. Next question is, do you require a driver's license? So no, we do not require a driver's license for you to participate in our program. If you do have a driver's license and wish to drive in the United States, we will need to see that on your application, but it is not a requirement for the program. There is one other thing I would like for you to consider though, which is that if you don't have a driver's license, you will be kind of limited to where you can be placed in the United States. Several places in the United States don't have very strong public transportation programs, so we would only be able to place you in the areas that have those. But no, driving is not a requirement. Our next question is, how much will it cost in total, processing fees, etc.? So we do not charge a processing fee, an application fee, or a placement fee. If you are in the Philippines and working with a recruitment agency that is charging you those things, we are not affiliated with that recruiting agency. We do not have a recruiting agency that we work with in the Philippines. Um, there are some other costs that will kind of vary from applicant to applicant that are associated with your application, which includes the cost of you maybe having to renew your passport, the cost of you maybe having to get your transcripts from your school. But EPI will never charge you a placement, application, or processing fee. So our next question is, what is the deadline to apply? So we do not have a deadline to apply. We have a rolling application process. We accept applicants all year round. If you wish to be considered for the August 2019 school year, we are looking at those applications right now. So it's really important that you apply as soon as possible if you want to be placed this year, but there is no official deadline. All right, and our next question is there an age limit? So no, there is no age limit. We do have some other basic requirements. For example, EPI teachers need to have strong English skills. They need to have the equivalent of a U.S. bachelor's degree. That doesn't mean that your bachelor's degree has to come from a U.S. school. It only means that your education in your home country translates to a U.S. bachelor's degree. Um, and then the other requirements include that you are currently teaching and have at least 2 years full-time teaching experience. So as long as you meet all of those basic requirements, you are eligible to apply regardless of your age. And it looks like we've gotten the is there an application fee question again. So I'm not going to go in depth about it this time, but I just want to reiterate that because it's so important that EPI will never charge you an application, placement, or processing fee. Okay, and our last question for today is how can I restart my application? So for some context, for those of you who haven't started the application process, um, when you're going through the application process, if some life things happen and you need to pause your application, you can request what we call putting your application on hold. EPI might also choose to put your application on hold if we had a hard time getting in touch with you, if you've been having a hard time uploading one of your documents. So if at any point your application is put on hold either by yourself or by EPI and you wish to restart your application process, you can just send us an email at team@teachwithepi.com. And when you do that, one of our admissions specialists will email you back and give you a status of your application, let you know if you're eligible to take your application off hold, and tell you what you need to do in order to do so. Okay, so that's all we have time for today. If you did not get to ask your question, please go ahead and leave it in the comments. We will be answering all remaining questions in the comments after the broadcast. So now that you know more about how to apply, let's talk about the next steps. First, if you haven't yet, go to teachwithepi.com and start your application. If you have applied but have questions about how to continue, you can email us at team@teachwithepi.com with your questions. Finally, go to teachwithepi.com/webinars to sign up for our future webinars and to watch all of our previous videos. To finish off our presentation today, I would like to leave you with this quote as a reminder of why cultural exchange is so important and why we are so eager to bring teachers like you to the United States. J. William Fulbright was a U.S. Senator and the founder of the Fulbright Program. He said, "The essence of intercultural education is the acquisition of empathy, the ability to see the world as others see it, and to allow for the possibility that others may see something that we have failed to see or may see it more accurately. We are dedicated to helping teachers like you come to the US so that we may learn from each other's unique perspectives, just like Fulbright talks about here." Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any further questions, you can email us at team@teachwithepi.com. I'm going to repeat that email address for you. It is team@teachwithepi.com. Also, be sure to sign up for our webinar mailing list at teachwithepi.com/webinars. On behalf of everyone at EPI, thank you so much for joining us and have a good day, everyone.